Okay. Hi guys, so we are waiting for Petite to come on, and today we're going to be talking about, what is the topic for today? Hi, we are talking about ways to invest in your business and why that's so important. So today I invited Kedby K Kedby of Kedby K's Cakes to come on and speak to us about her journey in business and how she basically educates herself, like her process for improving her business and her brand. So welcome everyone in. Hello. We are going to get started as soon as I see her come online. We'll start that conversation. So the basic premise for why I wanted to talk about this topic is because there are people who in general have started a business and they kind of hit a rut. And what is it that they can do to almost like reinvent themselves and invest in themselves to get out that rut and just be in a more productive space, so to speak. So I'm just going to read this off for you. So it's if you've started your business and you're feeling like you've hit a plateau in sales or in your skills or in your creativity, what do you do to get out of that rut? If you're stuck in business, if there's a skill that you know you need, but you don't have the tools to master it or learn it, what do you do? If you've hit like this wall, and many of us, especially if you have a corporate job, you oftentimes hear people talk about that glass ceiling. So the same things can happen in business. Like you've reached a level where you've maximized your knowledge base, and it's now time to go to school, so to speak, and get educated on new skills. So it's oftentimes you're at a space where you know what you're weak in, and it's using that piece that you know that you need to improve to educate yourself on those skills, and looking for whether it's a free resource using Pinterest and looking at blogs, or actually paying for a course, a masterclass, an ebook, something like that to improve your skills. And just with everything, it's about having a different perspective, not feeling isolated, networking with people. So when you're on that quest to get knowledge, that's the whole purpose, is for you to just reach a higher level of knowledge, of skill, of creativity, and how you go about doing that. So as we wait for Kedby, and we had a conversation not too long ago about her business journey and how she began, and it's super interesting. It's hilarious because of just the methods that she used when she didn't have the tools, but she was creative and she used it to expand her business. And then we also spoke about the training and like how much she had to pay in order to get the basics and the skills that she needed. And truly, they didn't teach her everything that she knows now or what she needed to know to run a cake business. So most of that work came on just being diligent and doing it herself. So she's going to talk about that piece of it. So let's talk about ways to invest in your business. That's a huge thing. And oftentimes we think it's just one way. And there's a whole list of things that you can do in order to grow your business. So I would say, for me, the biggest thing is I'm a podcaster. Since I have a long commute, I'm typically listening to audiobooks. I'm listening to podcasts, and I'll just type in this topic like marketing, digital sales, and things like that, and just listen to what different people who are in marketing and sales, or they're marketing and sales experts, what they speak about. So that's something that I do a lot. So that's one way you can invest in yourself and your business. One-on-one coaching is a huge thing. I think in anything you do, whether it's your career parenting, everything. You need a mentor. So finding someone who is an expert in that field that you have chosen, having that one-on-one coaching with them is critical in order to just map out strategy or just bounce ideas off, to have a thought partner. So that's very, very important. And of course, we talk about educating yourself. So again, that can be anything. That could be the podcast. That could be looking at YouTube videos. That can be so many things. Oh gosh, somebody's ringing my doorbell. I don't even know who this is. Hold on 1 minute, please. Sorry guys, I'm about to buy something from a kid. Give me a second. There you are. Great. Thank you so much. Take care. Of course. Okay, so this little boy is going to Costa Rica and he's having an Applebee's breakfast. I'm so sorry. So I'm back. So we were talking about ways to invest in your business, right? And how education can look like a whole lot of different things. For me, which is something I'm working on as far as investing in myself and investing in the Petite brand, is getting a virtual assistant. So I get a slew of emails, DMs, and things like that. And it almost is like I have to stop whatever I'm doing in order to answer and respond to them, because I'm like diligent in doing it immediately. So having someone who can field those things would be amazing. So that's something that I'm gonna work on doing, is having that virtual assistant. And then also I'm having an international intern come in next month. I believe she'll be here in about 3 weeks. So she's coming in to help with my marketing, digital marketing exclusively. Yes.
Can I have your computer?
I don't know where my computer is. I left it home, so find it.
Home?
Yes, I don't have it. So having a core group of people, or I call them frienders, that you can rely on and bounce ideas off, send texts to when you have like a client issue. Like I do it all the time. Like I'll have a run-in with a client, or someone will ask for a refund or something like that, and I'm like, let me text CC or Tika, and I'm like, should I give this money back? Like, it's in my policy in black and white, but what should I do? What would you consider good business practice? So having those conversations and having that network of people that you can reach out to is like amazing, because it gives you a resource and a knowledge base, not just your own, but someone else's. And you can, like I said, have a thought partner. So that's a good way to invest in your business, is to network with people who allow you to ask questions and you can share and go back and forth. So let's talk about the visuals, because as we talk all the time, and Kalia, you just joined, and we say this a lot. When you are branding, your front face, your website is so critical to what people see. That's the first thing they usually interface with, because they're not meeting you in person. So your web presence is so critical for investment, or to invest in, and typically it translates to whether people are going to purchase from you or not. So you have to have that together. Having professional pictures on all of your platforms, your social media platforms, is critical. Even if you're doing it yourself, you have your DSLR and you're taking pictures yourself, and you're going into an editing software and you are making those pictures look great, that's fine. Just don't rely on cell phone pictures if they're not cute, because people were looking. Another way you can invest, back to the idea of your website, even if it's a one-page landing page, you need that space. So when I'm looking at vendors, especially when I'm planning events, and of course the first place I'm usually finding them is on Instagram, right? But if I go to Instagram and I see they don't have a web page, I'm like, what's going on? Like, I see amazing pictures on their IG page, but what's on the back end? And for me as a consumer, I want to be able to go to your website and see the effort that you put in there, to give me like your even if it's like a FAQ page where you're just telling me how to book with you, your standard price list, something I don't see a lot of. People refuse to put prices online, which I don't understand. Even if you have like a starting point, say you start at $1,500 on up, that still gives me an idea of whether or not I can afford you, right? We spend so much time sourcing vendors without knowing what their base prices are or their standard pricing is. So I love a vendor that puts pricing online. So if you have like that one-page landing page, having your contact information and inquiry form, and then your pricing structure is amazing. And that's the basics of a website. That's a one-pager. So that's pretty cool. And like with pages like Wix and GoDaddy, you can have a professional website for really inexpensively. I use Squarespace. I've been using Squarespace for over 11 years because I was blogging at one point. So before they had the website platforms, they had a blogging platform. So as soon as they got that whole website in, I just purchased websites from them. And I actually have 3 websites with them right now. So Danisa, so you're saying that IG and Facebook is not enough. This is what I'm saying. And I've gotten into arguments with people about this. Not arguments, but people have respectfully disagreed with me. A website is like your calling card, your digital calling card. And I say this all the time. It's you own it, you copyright it, it's your stuff. When you have a Facebook on IG, you don't own the content. So at any given time, they can change anything. And what you had as your front space, as your platform is no longer there because you don't own the content. And what I see a lot of is people will have a website and it hasn't been updated in 3 years or 4 years. And of course it's like counterproductive because it's like you have a space, people are going to the website, but you don't do anything on there. So that's why I said having a landing page or that one pager is just, it's okay because you have your space. My thing is, why wouldn't you have a website? Like, what would be the reason why you would prevent yourself from having a website? That's the question I'm going to throw back at you. Because why wouldn't you do it? I'm waiting for her to respond, but that would be my thing. What else? Setting goals. So we oftentimes say we want those celebrity clients. Our goals would be, we want that celebrity client. We want high-end luxury events, blah, blah, blah. But how do we get to that point? So a good way to invest in yourself is to set, and this is something you can do when you have that one-on-one coaching with your mentor, is setting SMART goals or measurable goals that are very specific to what you want. Like, otherwise it's just like a wish and it's not something that's truly attainable because it's not measurable. So when you're setting goals, it have to be specific and they have to be measurable. Thank you. I love you too. No, I hear nobody goes on a website anymore. I do. I mean, I guess it depends. With this vast consumer base where people just look on Instagram or Pinterest. I'll give you, for instance, just earlier, I was researching this topic, right? And I put in Google 5 ways to invest in your business. What comes up are Pinterest pages, right? And I'm like, damn, we've gotten to the point where everything is streamlined to Pinterest, right? It's not like you're going to somebody else's webpage or your blog. So in that way, social media has taken over, right? But still, most of the people that I follow, that I consider experts, they have their own platform, right? They've developed a whole system because they understand that if you don't own the content, you can't really have control of what you do, right? So even if if you have a blog and you're using Instagram to direct traffic to your stuff, that would be the best thing to do. Like for me, I have a blog and I don't blog as much as I should, but if I only have one box to share one image, I still want people to see the entire party. So I would say, this is the picture, and go to go to my blog to see the entire party. So that's a way you can like field traffic from your social media like Facebook and Instagram, Pinterest to your platform, so that you're not wasting the space just having a website that nobody looks at. Another way to invest and grow your business is to ask for feedback. So say for instance, you decide to do a website, right? Yes, so SEO that you can control is important too. Well, what is SEO? Who the hell knows, right? Many people don't even understand how the search engine optimization works and how to look at the data, look at the analytics. And Google has an amazing platform for analyzing data. Squarespace too, that's another reason why I use it, is because they have built-in SEO and the meta tags and understanding what all of that means. I'll do a video on that possibly next week, and to understand how SEO can be used to leverage more sales, because most people don't even understand like the idea of a hashtag and how Google looks at that when you embed it on on your blog, because Google is, when you search for Google, you cannot see Instagram pictures. It just doesn't come up, right? So you have to search for your hashtags within the platform of IG. So if you have someone that wants something, like if I'm looking for a 6-inch cake, blue cake, right? And I look for that hashtag in Google, it's not going to take me to somebody's Instagram page. So that's the drawback of putting things only on Instagram. But I'll come back to that next week. I'm definitely going to do that next week, because SEO is like a huge thing that people just don't seem to understand. And you can't control your SEO on somebody else's platform. So back to asking for feedback. So you decide to do a website or a blog, and you want people to be able to navigate it very easily. It has to be user friendly. So asking people for that feedback would be something that would benefit you. Hold on, my kids are like having a whole party right now. Nels, I'm on the live. You're being loud, and your brother is asleep. So go upstairs or go outside. So having that platform and having people be able to give you feedback is a way to, invest in yourself, is a way to grow your business. Let's talk about profits. So you've made money, you have like a pile, you spent what you had to spend, and now you're sitting on some money. What do you do with these profits, right? So you got the cost of the party, you subtracted your expenses. What? Mommy's using the phone. No, that phone. It doesn't work. Where's Mommy's computer? Okay, ask that. Ask your Danella. Yeah. So you want to be able to use that profit to reinvest back into your business. And how I reinvest back is usually buying inventory. But that's something I'm restructuring, because I want to be able to reinvest my profits into purchasing not just inventory, but also advertising, because I truly don't advertise outside of Instagram. And that's something I'm still working on, because, Yelp calls me like every friggin' day. Google calls me every friggin' day. But I haven't taken that leap to do those platforms for advertising yet. So a huge way to reinvest in your business is to take those profits and put it back into your advertising bucket. We ask for feedback, listen to podcasts. So investing time in your creativity. So oftentimes, especially if you're working, you have a full-time career and you're doing your business, you don't really have much time to think. So you're working, you're not really growing the business. So it's a way to reinvest in yourself and your business is to take that time to have quiet time just to think, to strategize, and what that looks like for you. So that could be going to the spa for a day with your notebook and a pencil and just having time to think and work. It can be so many things. So that is something that I go back and forth with a lot. So like I'm off this week and like I have a whole shitload of stuff that I have to do between now and Friday and then get prepped for this weekend's delivery. So what does that look like for you? And still carving out time to have that creative thought to sit and plan for what's coming in the spring months. So that's something like I literally wrote down in my planner a whole list of stuff. So like the building stuff, like building tables, and then the marketing, the creative things, the back end things that I have to do for the business. So that's critical. So investing time with creativity. The last thing that I have on my list on ways to grow your business is to exercise and plan downtime. So I'm saying it, but I don't do it. So, but it's a way to, I guess, have that healthy work-life business balance is just to even walk. Like that's a huge thing when the weather is not so bad, but to walk, because that also gets your creative juices flowing because you're thinking and not necessarily walking and listening to music, but yes, having a quiet place to think and strategize, especially when you're designing. Like I can imagine if you have so many things going on when you're in your designing space, it's kind of counterproductive. So having that time to just sit and chill and that downtime to plan is so critical to you growing and using that time to improve your business. So why do you reinvest in yourself? Why do you invest in your business? I think that it's intrinsic to do it when you have a career, right? We have PD, so I'm an educator, so we have professional development every Monday. It's just a requirement of the job, right? In other industries, you have professional development, you have seminars and workshops. It's just intrinsic to do it. But why, when we have a business, we don't think in those terms? Like, you're not every quarter or twice a year going to a networking event or a workshop to improve your skills. So that has to shift. You know, like every year I go to the stationaries convention, stationery show, and what else do we do? This year I actually went to stationery show. I went in October, we went to High Point. And in all of those seminars, of course, it's like a free-for-all for people to share their products, but they also have guest speakers. They also have experts in the industry who are sharing a plethora of information. So that's a way to educate yourself. Hi, Cadby, you joined. All right, I'm going to put you on in a few seconds. Oh, I don't see you. Hold on. Here you are. So we're waiting for Cadby to come on. So going to those events should be intrinsic. Just like in your career, you should be doing the same thing. Hey!
Hi!
Thank you for joining us. So everyone, this is Cadby from Cadby Cakes. So I was just going over my list of things that people need to do in order to invest in their business. I wanted to start with just explaining to people who you are, your brand, especially if they haven't visited your Instagram page.
Okay. So I am a girl that just loves to bake. Hi, Adalka Creations. I always had a passion for cakes and for kitchen in general, I would say. I loved always to cook, bake. It was always my thing. And as I was growing up, I was telling Anaida before where I had, I experienced all sorts of, hi, Caddy. I experienced different careers, but I always, went for the kitchen. And I had to take it, one step ahead. And I graduated from the French culinary. That's how that's when
Hold on.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry. That's when the Kedby, I used to do Kedby Creations, with a K. That's when it started in 2012. When I
Hmm.
graduated school, that's when I started with this adventure. I'm sorry, that's my mother that's trying to call me, and I keep declining. But yeah, I was in 2012 when I started with it. I do cakes. I do. Give me one sec. Sorry. I do cakes. I do treats. Um, anything sweet world. Anything that is yummy to eat. My service, it's bad. Yes, it is. It's bad. It's actually my mother that keeps calling me.
Ah.
Let me. I'm actually right next to my. How do you call that?
The router.
Yeah, I'm right next to my router, so I know it's not my service. I know it's my mother. She called me 3 times, and I decline her. So the more I decline her, the more she calls.
She calls back.
Oh, absolutely. You're chopping up, Kepi. Okay. Let me know. Is it still choppy?
No.
No? I think it was when I was getting the calls, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is everyone's like? What are we gonna discuss now?
So we started talking about ways to invest in your business, and I know we talked before about your journey into culinary school. You
Yes.
spent a grip, and then you really didn't learn how to bake cakes. So
No.
what do you do after that? Like, how did you get to where you are?
So I explained to Anaida that my husband was the one who told me, if you're gonna go for it, like, and do it the right way. So for him, the right way was going to school and graduating as in the pastry arts program at the French Culinary, which it was very expensive, very expensive. And I thought, I go over there, and I was commuting 3 hours one way, 3 hours the other, thinking I'm just going to walk in and see tiered cakes and all about cakes.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like that. I didn't see anything about cakes. All I seen for cakes was like 2 weeks, and it was like a glimpse of everything, just like, what is a tiered cake? Things that I already knew on my own.
Right.
And I was so frustrated. I used to come and complain to him, oh, all I'm learning is about flour. I know the whole history about the chocolate. I know about sugar. I know this. I don't know. They're not teaching me cakes. And then I remember he used to tell me, just learn as much as you can, because knowledge is the key.
Right.
And it sure did, when everything ended up coming together once I got into the kitchen and started baking.
Right.
And doing a cake and looking at a cake and seeing if something was dense, if the other one was airy, if my sponge wasn't springing back. I already knew, what did I do wrong. I already knew that I was over whipping something. I
Right.
already knew the heat wasn't, my oven wasn't heating the right way. It wasn't rotating. I already knew why certain things, or at least I had some steps or some base where I knew what I could go and look back on my book and
Exactly.
go and review and understand what was happening behind what I was looking, and what was I experiencing.
Right.
So that's really when I ended up being a fan number one of me going to school. And when I was really grateful of having, someone support me and tell me, do it this way, and do it the right way.
Right.
Not that if you don't go to school you can't do it the right way. You understand what I'm saying? No, but it's definitely, you definitely pay for something, and you definitely learn something.
Right.
So I did. I went to school. Like many people, I made lots of mistakes. You live and you learn.
Right.
What
had like I remember you in our conversation you said that I asked you because I see a lot of these I don't know if you call them like expert bakers. They have like master's classes, and they're teaching techniques for like one thing. And you said that you don't typically do that. What did you explain how you learn?
Okay, so I have burned down my kitchen 3 times. I have gotten my house full of smoke one time due to that. That just happened for Christmas time. I was trying to do these crumbs, but I wanted them to be certain way. And I was like experimenting with ingredients.
You have a good husband.
And I was just experimenting. I was like, okay, but if I put this on these crumbs, something has to happen. And if what I was looking for in my vision was for a crystallized crumb for the cake to be like crusty and shiny.
Right.
Hi guys. Hi 7 days. Sasek. And I was looking for that, and I didn't end up having that. I ended up having my husband have to run, and I was jumping up and down screaming, my house, I'm burning the house.
Right.
You know, I love to experiment. I love to mix things. I go in my kitchen sometimes and I'll be playing with colors, with cornstarch.
Right.
I'd be playing with, let me see if I add this to the buttercream, and if I leave it out, what's going to happen? I love to grab a piece of fondant, roll it out thin, and wait till it cracks, and then see if I can incorporate another piece on, you know, that all brings different things that sometimes out of 10 fails or out of 10 tries, I'll have 9 fails and 1 good one that I like.
Exactly.
So there has been a lot of things that you'll see on my cake that people will be like, oh, it's so pretty. Those so pretty things, or that technique that people will ask me, it's one of those, you know, 3 times that
right.
can't be catch. That's why it's not that good for Ketby not to be sweeping and mopping and cooking, because she'll be doing something, and, you know, like buttercream. Now with the buttercream spackle textures, now with all that buttercream.
No, that's what it's called. I love it.
So
buttercream spackle.
Like that kind of like oil look painting, you know.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there that do it. I'm going to tell you the truth, and I will be honest with whoever it's online. I hate to watch videos on YouTube because I don't have patience.
Yeah.
So if it says right there, 45 minutes, this is Ketby. Skip, and then I'm done, and I'm like, oh, I didn't learn it, you know. And then I'm like, let me go and see my, you know, it's just not me. You know,
right.
For you, I get bored. It's just not, I'm very on the go and moving.
Yes.
So I do skip. It is true. And I know you're laughing. It's true. I skip. And then I go, oh, and then I try to go back to see, you know, let me see
right.
catch a piece. It doesn't happen. It's just not me. So I go in the kitchen and I started, you know, I'll put sheets of something cold in the fridge and then spackle, see what it gives me, see what it looks like. Right. A lot of cakes that, not a lot of cakes, but some cakes that you guys will see that I post, like if you guys scroll down through my page, I just did a cake that it was orange and it had these oranges.
Yeah.
I dehydrated those oranges myself. So
right.
A lot of, you know, in the real world of, you know, baking and, you know, in commercial kitchens, you dehydrate with a machine. There is homemade ways that you could do it, you know. So I dehydrated it a home way, you know, I did it at home, you know, home style kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see, okay, I don't want to take out my machine and clean it right. just because I want to play with oranges. And I have 10-pound box of oranges I bought in Costco. So I was like, let me do something. Just happened that today my husband grabbed my phone for some reason and he said, oh my God, Ketby, whose cake was this? It was the most beautiful. I love this cake or something. I was like, the orange cake? I was like, oh baby, after I did it, I cut it, I ate a piece, I'm not lying, and I threw it in the garbage.
Wow.
Because I did it with a flavor that I love, which I love to infuse cakes as well. So I did it with a passion fruit infusion, and I go crazy over passion fruit. I love passion fruit. So I knew it was all going to be in my stomach. So I just cut a piece, took a picture of the inside, and then threw it out, which I usually don't do that. But people are not that much in my household. They're not into passion fruit. My husband is a chocolate person. My kids are chocolate lovers. So I knew it was just going to be me.
Right. I wanted to ask you about
love that. Yes, definitely. Somebody was saying to don't be afraid to try things that it's definitely good. And sometimes give it a try, you know. like I said, not everyone's art. It's for everyone, you know.
Yeah.
Not everybody likes Picasso. Not everybody likes Botero, which is a Colombian, you know, painter. All he paints is chubby women. I don't know if maybe some people know about
Yes.
his paintings. He's short, chubby women. The horses are chubby, and he's a Colombian, very famous artist. He's a, you know, not everybody likes it, you know. So what you do and what you create and what you like, others might not, you know.
Exactly.
So, but it's, everybody has different, like my husband says, the what is, he says, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I think that's what he says. So if you like it and, you know, and you want to go for it and you want to try it, do it.
Yeah. Talk to me about your celebrity clients, because when I go down your feed, I'm like, look at this chica. Like,
question. That's like the question
from the lens of how does that translate to building your brand and your sales? Like, do you see a increase in sales when you do a celebrity cake?
No.
Okay.
And that's one thing that I want to say it to everyone from the bottom of my heart. I need to try that passion fruit. Oh, I'll make that. I'll say this and I'll be very open about this. Numbers on Instagram, high following, 18,000 following. I think that's what I have right now, 18.7. That doesn't mean I'm making 18.7 thousand a week. Okay.
Right.
That doesn't mean I'm making 18,000 or 1,800 a day. Numbers on Instagram have nothing to do with your real life.
Yeah.
You know, celebrities, me doing a celebrity cake. There's a lot of celebrities. When I started, I did things for free. And I am not ashamed of saying it. I am not embarrassed of saying it. I got fooled by other people that were so-called celebrities when they were not. I go to their page now and I laugh. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. Like, how silly was I? Like, how not naive, you know?
Yeah.
So, but let's say the Cardi situation cake. I got hired for Cardi's cake through her sister.
Yeah.
And I was telling you this before, you know, people to their, you know, to their, how do you say that? Like
they felt,
they're worldwide.
Yeah.
They are celebrities. Okay. So they are celebrities. They're not just an Insta famous person. She did get to a point where she is a worldwide celebrity. And it was never in their conversation of this woman, like her sister and their team, ever saying to me, can you do it? No, it was actually, and I told you this, the first cake I did for her sister wasn't for Cardi.
Yeah.
Cardi's cake came after me doing a plain chocolate cake with a whole bunch of chocolate bars on top for her girlfriend, for Hennessy's girlfriend, which is Michelle, and that was for her brother. Then I did a cake for Hennessy because I guess she's seen that her girlfriend ordered a cake for her brother from me, so she called me. And she got my information probably from Michelle's page. She called me and then she said, can you make me a cake for my girlfriend? We started there. Once I delivered what I delivered for her, which it was a short notice, she said to me, and I recall that conversation, you know, on the phone. She called me. She didn't even text me. She called me, said, thank you so much, you know, so-and-so. And she said, I cannot believe you made this happen. You will be making my sister's cake. I'll keep you posted. And I was like, oh, okay. Don't get me wrong. I did a cake for Cardi years ago when Cardi was not Cardi.
Yeah.
Okay. When Cardi was the girl from the Bronx working in a bar. I did a cake for her back then. She was not even on TV. She had just got the contract for Love and Hip Hop. And I did it with one of her best friends. You know, her best friend ordered a cake for herself for her birthday, and then she called me and ordered a cake for Cardi. But yeah, that doesn't mean that because I did Cardi's cake, that's gonna bring me thousands. Yeah, it brings me probably following, but it doesn't mean that you're making all these. So this is one thing, and I tell this to people that are in the world or they're just starting. Don't let people fool you by that.
Yeah.
Or people that are not to their level, you know, because people that follow them, they don't follow them because of the cakes. They follow them because of what they wear, because of how they're trending, because of the way they look, because their bodies are so beautiful and they're so sexy. So they're
Right.
showing body, they're showing skin. Other girls, I'm not talking about Cardi B or this kind of celebrity. They're not showing, you know, all these women are half naked. Yeah, they have hundreds of thousands of followers because they're half naked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the people that follow that halfway naked girl is not going to come and follow you that make cakes.
Right. No, it's true. It's true.
Because if I wanted to have more following, I told you before, I'll go and post my cake and be like, my buttercream cake.
So, show some cleavage with the cake.
You know, yeah, I'll be like my buttercream. I'll be like my buttercream cake. Like, and of course, then I'm gonna start getting following. You know,
Right.
But
even that is not translating to a sale.
That's not bringing me money.
Right.
That's not that's bringing me numbers on a screen, yes, on something that it's just for them, for the celebrity, for them. Like I told you, if she takes out a t-shirt, everybody's going to want to buy that t-shirt because they want it from her, because they want it from them, because they follow them, because they like them. That's not coming to my page and bringing me money.
Right. Right. And that's something that I find people say all the time. They want to do celebrity parties and events.
No.
But you get 2 minutes to prep.
If you're going to get celebrity money, then yeah.
Right.
Now these days, yeah. Like, you know, and I did, like I said, when I started, I did cakes for free. People took advantage of me. I'm not going to lie to you. And I don't have nothing to lie to anyone. And I don't care about saying I'm not embarrassed. You know, you learn and you start at some point in life.
Right.
This is what I told you before. Plastic surgeon doesn't come out doing the best lipos and the best tummy tucks. His first clients look like SpongeBob, you know? They're all square and messed up, you know?
Right.
Then if you look at the girls now, then, you know, you see the Vada girls, you know, the girls with the curves.
Exactly.
Now he's charging the thousands of dollars, you know? It's the same thing with somebody that starts in the kitchen. You make mistakes. Like people, you know, send me messages, and a lot of people can't even believe that I answer them, which it breaks my heart because I'm very humble. And people are like, I can't believe you're answering. I'm crying of happiness because you're answering me a text message or because you're answering me a DM, because usually they'll DM. Right. They'll be like, I can't believe, thank you so much. You know, they'll be like, people don't share. I feel like my husband is staring at me. He just broke my mind. But I feel like you lighting somebody else or teaching somebody, it's not going to take away from me. I live in Jersey. She might live in UK, like one of the girls that sent me a message. The other one was in Colombia. The other one lives in New York. Yeah. That doesn't take away business from me, teaching someone or giving someone help or giving them knowledge that probably it took me so many times to make. I made that mistake probably over and over. And that person could get it at one, you know, in one time, just because I gave them, you know, one tip, because I explained to them something. That doesn't take anything away from me.
Right. And I mean, it's like, it's almost like positive karma. Like you have this box every time you answer a question. Yeah, it's like, and it just makes life, I guess, favorable for you. You know what I mean?
It doesn't take much, you know. And if I refer people, I tell people, I refer the other day, I couldn't take an order. I told them, listen, I have never tried their cake. Their work is beautiful, though.
Yeah.
This girl does sculpted cakes. I see her doing cars. I see her doing things. Go to her. Right. And they're like, but I want it from you. I'm like, but I'm booked, and I can't make that car you want me to make. I'm not into that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm not, you know, it's just not. I'm very honest. I'll be like, no, that's not my type of style.
Yeah.
Go to her, you know. And I posted the other day a cake from a baker that it's in Queens, New York. Yes. She is a friend of mine through phone, because I have never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. Yeah. And when I'm telling you, I got at least like 13 messages. And out of all the 13, only one of them was a nice message. All of the other ones were telling me that how can I repost this person if she lives in New York and she does cakes and she's my competition. You know?
You know what? So many people get that.
I don't see it that
confused,
way.
Right?
I don't see that way.
Exactly.
You know why? Because she's in Queens. I'm in New York.
Yeah.
I refer her when I can't do something. She refers me when she can't take it. Why is it my competition? Because she works beautiful.
Right.
because
see,
I'm giving her a
that's a missed
compliment.
opportunity right there.
It's not, you know, they were like, oh my God, you're crazy. You're sending your work to her. No, because if you try my cake and you like my cake, even if you I live 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away from Queens, I'll have people from Queens drive from Queens to come and get cake from me.
And you deep.
Understand? And I'm deep, and you know that. So,
right.
But, and then there's
It's
people
true.
in Queens that might only like her cake and they'd rather go to her. You understand? So
Exactly.
it doesn't matter. It's not competition. It's just, I just did it because I wanted to.
Yeah.
Because I thought her work is beautiful and I wanted to say it to other people.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
That's not taking money away from, you know, from my income. I'm in charge of that. I'm in charge of promoting myself. I'm in charge of every cake I do. And that's the way let's say my publicity, and this is the way I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't spend that much money in publicity, right?
Right.
But my publicity for me is Instagram, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is social media. So what do I do every time I make a cake to be able to get my name out there? I put extra time where I take that extra step to make that cake nicer than the one before.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that picture could go and be more, and people could see it, or people could save it. And because people won't like it, but people will save it. You know?
Yes.
Like 40 likes and then save 84. And I'm like, oh, wow. You know? Which I don't care. I laugh, but it's all coming to the same page. You understand?
Exactly.
But that's the way that's what I do. That's how I use my social media. You know, that's how some people don't understand it. Some people don't understand social media, do not like social media.
Right.
But, you know, I use it for that. I use it for my business. It does, I want to say 70% of my orders and things come through, from
Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the rest are word of mouth.
So before you came on, we talked about having a website, right? And is it important for business?
Okay. So if you ask me, yes. Do I have one out? Not yet.
Okay.
I had one. I closed it down because my domain.
Yeah.
Now I have one, which is in process.
Yes.
But does it affect me in my sales? No.
Yeah.
You know, because now these days, even grandmas have Instagram. Now these days, even great grandpas got Facebook. So you tell them, and they'll have that one picture, but they know how to get there. And if they don't, like, you understand? So for me, but I feel that once I hit a certain level, yes, because I want to be able to have where people could just book directly, you know, through my page.
Yes.
I want to be able to get the, you know, some people, even if they're on Instagram, they like to click on that link where it takes them to the website. Oh, there you go. That's you.
Right.
They want to click on it. So it takes them, and you're looking at the same pictures, and you're looking at the same thing, but you just want to press that button, go over there, and send the email through them.
Yes. Yes.
So that is, you know, everyone is different. So you definitely want to have it for the ones that are looking for that.
Of course.
Because a lot of times that gives people more of that feeling like, oh, this is a company.
Yeah,
this is
you're
something
legit.
This is legit. You understand? They are legit because they have the website. They are legit because they have this. So, because unfortunately, social media, it's either good or bad. Some people could just take it to the point where they use it for bad things and to scam people and to lie and to not, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I do think it is important, though.
So talk to me about pricing for you. How did you come to that? Like, how did you come to pricing? Is it something you and your husband go back and forth on, or is it the amount of hours it takes you to do a specific cake?
Okay, hold on. I couldn't hear that part before. You said what?
No, I said when you set your pricing, is it something that you and your husband talk about as far as, you know, you guys saying it took you 8 hours to do this or something like that?
No.
How do you set pricing?
I set pricing. So let's say this. I don't base myself on timing. I do and I don't. But because I could, let's say I'm not going to charge the person the price after I'm done working when I know exactly how many hours it took me, okay?
Right.
I might have an idea in my head because of how I've been working and I know how I work, how long it could take me.
Right.
Like some cakes, every day is different, and all cakes are different.
Right.
So it could take me 5 hours,
Yeah.
but the weather could be stinking within 2 weeks, and it could be so hot that it's going to take me 10 hours to work on that cake, to be able to chill it, take it out, work on it, bring it back out, you know?
You're
so
right.
It's really not, I don't base myself on that. I base myself on design and on servings. So that's how I do my pricing. It's on servings and design.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't base some people think, oh, because if it's a 3-tier, it's going to be more expensive than a 1-tier. So they'll tell me, oh, no, I don't want a tier because I only want to spend, certain, I don't base it. A lot of people do.
I'm laughing because I do that too.
A lot of people do. A lot of people their prices change because it's a tiered cake. Mine don't. Oh. My prices go per serving and per design.
Understood.
Are my cakes cheap? You tell me.
No, but I know it's going to be flawless.
But yes. So I feel like, and I am a true believer of, you get what you pay for.
Right. I mean, like, I can go to Walmart and get a 3-tier cake for $68, but like, I'm not taking a picture of it.
Okay. And I'm a true believer that you get what you pay for. And I am a true believer that I charge, but the same way I charge, I want to make sure when the people try my cake,
yes,
they always send me a text or they always send me a message telling
exactly.
me how
Exactly.
Good,
Exactly.
Which that just like, I just put the chill. Because
exactly. And that's what, when you're creative, that's what you look for. That's your energy, right?
When I do that reduction of raspberries, like I just did this weekend, where I went and bought 8 pounds of raspberries.
Wow.
To get a little jar like this, but I put that drizzle on that chocolate cake, and then on top I put, the milk chocolate ganache. And and then I soak it with a reduction with Godiva liqueur, and then they call me and they're like, oh my God, where you bought that cake? So yeah, I do a lot of things on my cake inside, but that's the reason why.
Yeah.
Because they're paying. I'm not because the cake is I'm not getting paid $1,000 for this cake, so I'm just gonna do no.
Right.
The same love. You put the same. You use everything the same for.
Exactly.
Celebrity, non-celebrity, expensive, not that
exactly
elaborate cake,
exactly,
because that's your name.
That's it.
It's not my client. It's all the people that is tasting that cake in that family or in that party.
Yes.
And then they go and say, who made that cake? Oh my God, that cake was so dry and ugly. Or, oh my God, that cake was so good.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she's expensive. Oh yeah, but oh my God, her cake was good.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's it.
So
before we finish up, I went to your YouTube page, right? And I was like, yes, she has a YouTube channel. What do you expect how do you expect to grow that? And like, what other things will you put on there?
I was just talking about that. So here's my thing. My English is not very good looking. So I speak English and I feel comfortable, but I can't compare how comfortable I feel in Spanish. Okay. So I was thinking to start doing videos because a lot of my following are Hispanic. And a lot of people that ask me questions that I see that are always asking me or sending me DMs speak Spanish. Yeah. So I wanted to start doing videos in Spanish as well as in English. Right. Or do a mixture. But I want to start doing more cooking. Yeah. More baking. More flavors. More kitchen, Yeah. Because there's so much out there already with the cake world. Yes. The core and the 101. And if you have the patience,
look, that's somebody that says they were watching in Spanish. They don't care.
Like, that's what I want to be able to do. I want to be able to do something that even if I'm speaking Spanish, I could write everything in English on the bottom, or I could put subtitles, or I could do a mixture of both, because that's Kedby. You know, I don't want to be restricted. Yeah. Restricted to only doing one language, because that's not me. You'll hear me saying, Oh yeah, yeah. I see. Super lindo. Like you'll hear me. That's me.
Yeah.
That's who I am.
Right.
I'll be loving my family, and then in 1 second I'm screaming at them in Spanish. That's
Yeah.
me. That's how I talk on the normal. So I
Yes.
would like to do that and bring that to that for people to know me by who I am and how I cook and how
Yes.
Kevin's dancing half the time in the thing, like with
Yes.
the mixing, because that's how I am. So I want to definitely do that into YouTube. And I was just having that conversation yesterday with someone that it's giving me it's like guiding me and explaining to me
Right.
things about it.
Right. Right. No, that's amazing. And you mentioned the fact that you have people that you talk to before you make a step. And I think that's so critical in how you grow as a business, is you have that platform to bounce ideas off of.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. I always ask, and I always, it's good to have a second opinion. It's good to
Yes.
ask people. Like I said, I'm not crazy about. I don't spend on advertisement, that much. I don't actually. So far, I haven't. Um, but it is. I feel like asking people or asking friends that might be into it,
Mm-hmm.
or it's having opinions from different people. I think it helps a lot when it comes to all this,
Right.
networking and all this social media and all this, publicity, everything that has to do in this
Yeah.
world. It
Yeah.
brings branches out, but it's just something that the more you ask, the better.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree. I agree.
Starts with 1, it's only one person, so you having help from others doesn't hurt you. It
Right.
grows.
Right. It's true. It's true. I wanted to know if anyone had any questions for Kedby before we we get off, about cakes, about business, about growing a baking brand. Well, it's not bakery. It's oh yeah, it is bakery. Growing a band. Will you ever? Do you consider? Would you do like a storefront, like open a bakery? Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of my. I am in that.
Yes. I would be there. I would drive down to Freehold to do, well, especially in the summer because you got the beach down there. But yes.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
it. I will love that. I want something small. I want something like cozy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many refrigerators do you have? I have
Yeah.
2. It's all for like supplies and just everything unopened, and then the other one is for the cakes with anything that it's open, means like a carton of egg whites that's already open. I do follow the FIFO, which is first in, first in, whatever, if it goes to the back, then you use that to come out. So if it's opened, I always have the front. I do have refrigerators and
Okay.
one freezer.
Yeah.
I know you do cakes because I follow, and you have sent me, I think it is that, yeah,
Yeah.
sends me things. But yeah,
So it's like a minute and a half left. Thank you so much for talking to me. Like I literally, as soon as I came from Baltimore, I drove 4 hours this morning to get home. I'm like, Kedby, will you do this with me? It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know if you're up yet.
and
thank you.
Believe it or not, I never go out, but I went out last night, so I was like,
oh,
sure,
wow.
good.
Well, I thank you. I appreciate you so much.
And yeah, anybody, if they ever have any questions, they know they could send me a message. I will answer. I'll be more than happy to help wherever I can. It has to do in the cake world. Any questions, honestly. If it takes a little bit for me to answer, sometimes I don't get to read everything so fast, but they know where to find me.
I'm trying to pin your here we go. I got it. Pin your page. Let's see if it will. How do you do it here? Pin it.
Don't ask me.
There we go. I got it. Yes. So I'm gonna repost this on my YouTube sometime later today. But have a wonderful, wonderful week, and thank you so much.
And thank you to everyone that, you know, was there just giving us little hearts and all the love.
All right, take care.
Okay, bye-bye.